Imagine boarding a flight, expecting nothing more than a peaceful journey, only to witness the unthinkable. A flight attendant, in a shocking and heated moment, slaps a passenger, a professional woman named Lisa Carter. What follows is a jaw-dropping chain of events that not only leads to the flight attendant's immediate dismissal but also sparks a powerful conversation about dignity and respect. Stay with us as we dive into this extraordinary story, one that will leave you speechless and thinking deeply about how we treat one another. Lisa Carter, a dedicated teacher in her mid-30s, was on her way to a highly anticipated education conference in California. This trip was supposed to be an opportunity to learn, grow, and bring new ideas back to her students. But instead, it turned into a life-changing experience that quickly went viral, with thousands of people discussing the incident. It raised crucial questions about workplace behavior, accountability, and the respect everyone deserves regardless of their role or position. This is more than just a shocking story. It's a tale of resilience, empowerment, and the ripple effects of a single moment of disrespect. What led to such an extreme reaction? How did Lisa Carter respond in the face of public humiliation? And what broader conversations did this incident ignite about human decency and professional accountability? Stick around as we uncover every twist and turn of this incredible story. By the end, you'll not only understand what happened, but also reflect on the bigger picture of respect in our daily interactions. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more real-life stories that inspire, surprise, and make you think. Lisa Carter, a passionate and hardworking teacher, boarded the flight with a mix of excitement and anticipation. Dressed in a casual yet professional outfit, she carried a small tote bag filled with conference materials she couldn't wait to dive into. Lisa had been looking forward to this trip for months, a rare opportunity to attend a prestigious education conference in California that promised to inspire her teaching methods and enrich her classroom. However, beneath her calm exterior, Lisa was nursing a persistent back injury that had been bothering her for weeks. She had planned every detail of her travel, hoping to make the journey as comfortable as possible. Finding her assigned seat, she carefully stowed her bag, settled in and leaned back, hoping for a bit of relief before the long flight. But as she adjusted her seat, she quickly realized that the angle wasn't providing the support she needed. Determined to remain polite and optimistic, Lisa pressed the call button for assistance. Moments later, a flight attendant appeared, a woman in her early 30s with sharp features and a professional demeanor. "Excuse me," Lisa said, her voice calm but slightly strained. "I'm dealing with some back pain from an injury. Could you help adjust my seat to make it a little more comfortable?" At first, the flight attendant nodded sympathetically. "Of course, let me see what I can do," she said, her tone pleasant and reassuring. She began examining the seat mechanism, appearing ready to assist. Lisa felt a wave of relief, grateful for the quick response. But just as quickly as the interaction began, it took an unexpected and unsettling turn. The flight attendant's demeanor shifted dramatically. Her expression hardened, and the understanding tone was replaced by one of irritation. "This is how the seat is," the flight attendant snapped, straightening up and crossing her arms. "You'll have to deal with it." Taken aback but maintaining her composure, Lisa tried again. "I understand, but even a small adjustment would really help. Could you please take another look?" The flight attendant's response was sharp and dismissive. "You should have thought about that before booking this seat." The tension between them grew, drawing the attention of nearby passengers. What had started as a simple request now felt like an unnecessary power struggle. Lisa's calm persistence was met with increasing hostility, creating an atmosphere of discomfort and unease. The cabin, still bustling with passengers settling in, began to quiet as people sensed the rising conflict. And then, in a moment that would shock everyone aboard, the unthinkable happened. As the tension between Lisa Carter and the flight attendant escalated, the atmosphere in the cabin grew thick with unease. Passengers nearby shifted uncomfortably in their seats, pretending not to hear the sharp exchange of words. Lisa, maintaining her composure despite the dismissive responses, calmly tried once more. "I really appreciate your help," she said with quiet patience. "It's just a small adjustment. Could you please take another look?" What happened next left the entire plane in stunned silence. Without warning, the flight attendant leaned in and with a sudden burst of aggression, slapped Lisa across the face. The sound of the slap echoed through the cabin like a thunderclap, freezing everyone in their seats. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Lisa instinctively raised her hand to her cheek, her face a mixture of shock and disbelief. The surrounding passengers gasped audibly. Some sat with mouths agape, while others exchanged horrified glances. The flight, which had moments ago been an ordinary journey, had now transformed into an unforgettable spectacle. Lisa took a deep breath, her hand still resting on her cheek. Despite the humiliation and sting of the slap, she didn't retaliate. Instead, she stood up slowly, her eyes meeting those of the flight attendant, now wide with surprise at her own actions. In a voice that was steady but firm, Lisa said, "This is unacceptable. I need to speak to the captain." The flight attendant, momentarily frozen, made no effort to stop her. Passengers whispered among themselves as Lisa walked with purpose toward the cockpit door. Knocking firmly, she was met by the captain, a middle-aged man with a serious demeanor. She explained what had happened calmly and succinctly, the pain in her voice apparent, but under control. The captain's expression darkened as he listened. Without hesitation, he assured Lisa, "This behavior will not be tolerated." Moments later, he emerged from the cockpit, instructing another flight attendant to escort the offending crew member off the plane. The flight attendant, now visibly shaken, was removed swiftly as murmurs of disbelief rippled through the cabin. Unbeknownst to Lisa, a passenger seated nearby had recorded the entire incident on their phone. Within minutes of the plane taking off, the video began to circulate online. By the time the flight reached cruising altitude, the clip had gone viral, sparking an avalanche of reactions from viewers across the globe. Social media erupted with outrage and support for Lisa Carter. People were appalled by the blatant act of aggression from someone in a position of service. The incident ignited heated discussions about workplace professionalism, accountability, and the treatment of passengers, particularly in high-pressure environments like air travel. News outlets quickly picked up the story, transforming Lisa from an ordinary teacher into a symbol of resilience and respect. The slap became more than just a single act. It was a catalyst for conversations about dignity, authority, and the importance of mutual respect in public spaces. As Lisa sat quietly in her seat, the gravity of what had just occurred began to sink in. She had boarded the flight as a teacher on her way to a conference, but now she found herself at the center of a viral controversy. The incident was no longer just about her. It had become a moment of reckoning for how people in positions of authority handle conflict and stress. Passengers continued to whisper among themselves, some expressing their support to Lisa in hushed tones, while others struggled to process what they had witnessed. Lisa, however, remained composed, determined to not let this shocking event define her journey. By the time the plane landed, the story had already gained traction on major news platforms, sparking debates and calls for better training and accountability in the airline industry. Lisa knew her life would never be the same, but she also recognized the opportunity to turn this painful experience into a platform for change. Little did she know, her calm and dignified response to such an egregious act would inspire thousands and ignite a movement far beyond the confines of that single flight. As the flight continued, Lisa Carter sat in her seat, replaying the shocking incident in her mind. Her cheek still stung from the slap, but the emotional toll weighed far heavier than the physical pain. A storm of emotions raged within her: humiliation, disbelief, and anger at being treated with such disrespect. Yet, amid these feelings, she also felt an unexpected surge of resilience. Lisa was no stranger to challenges. As a teacher, she had faced difficult situations, but nothing had prepared her for this level of public humiliation. Despite the turmoil, she resolved not to let this moment define her. She straightened her posture, determined to show strength in the face of such blatant disrespect. Passengers nearby began to offer small gestures of support. A woman across the aisle leaned over and quietly said, "I'm so sorry you had to go through that." Another handed Lisa a tissue and gave her a sympathetic nod. These moments of solidarity, though subtle, reminded Lisa that she was not alone in this experience. The airline's response was swift but felt insufficient. Shortly after the flight landed, a representative met Lisa at the gate, offering a private space to decompress and an apology for the incident. The representative assured her that the airline would conduct a full investigation and that the flight attendant's behavior was unacceptable. But as Lisa listened, she couldn't shake the feeling that the response was more about damage control than genuine concern. As Lisa was escorted through the terminal, her phone buzzed incessantly. News of the slap had already spread like wildfire online. Thanks to the video recorded by a passenger, comments and reactions flooded social media, and Lisa's name quickly became a trending topic. The online reactions were deeply polarized. Thousands of people expressed outrage at the flight attendant's behavior and admiration for Lisa's composed response. Supporters rallied around her, calling for stricter regulations and better training for airline staff to prevent such incidents in the future. However, not everyone was on Lisa's side. A vocal minority questioned her actions, suggesting she might have been overly demanding or could have provoked the flight attendant. Others defended the flight attendant, arguing that she must have been under extreme stress to react so violently. The divided opinions only added to Lisa's emotional burden. She'd boarded the flight as a teacher traveling to a conference, but now she found herself thrust into the spotlight as an unwilling public figure. Her personal experience was dissected by strangers who had no understanding of the context or her character. By the end of the day, Lisa's story had been covered by major news outlets. Journalists were calling her phone, asking for interviews, and her inbox was inundated with messages of both support and criticism. The sudden shift from a private citizen to a viral figure was overwhelming. Lisa struggled with the weight of public attention. She had never sought the spotlight, and the idea of being at the center of such a heated public debate felt surreal. Yet she also began to realize the potential impact of her story. This was more than a personal ordeal. It had become a moment to shed light on broader issues of respect, dignity, and accountability. Amid the chaos, Lisa found moments of clarity. She reflected on how often people in service roles, like the flight attendant, face immense pressure and how those pressures can sometimes lead to destructive behavior. At the same time, she couldn't excuse the blatant disrespect and harm she had endured. As Lisa prepared for what lay ahead, she knew the road would not be easy. The story was no longer just about a slap on a flight. It had evolved into a conversation about human decency and professional accountability. And while she hadn't chosen to be at the center of this narrative, she decided she wouldn't shy away from it either. For Lisa, this was no longer just about what had happened to her. It was about ensuring no one else would have to endure the same indignity. It was about turning her pain into a call for change, a message she hoped would resonate far beyond the walls of a single airplane cabin. In the days following the incident, Lisa Carter faced an overwhelming storm of attention, both online and offline. Messages poured in from strangers, some offering sympathy, others sharing their own stories of mistreatment in public spaces. Initially, Lisa felt the urge to retreat from the spotlight. She hadn't asked to become the face of a viral controversy. She was just a teacher who wanted to attend a conference, not a crusader for justice. But as she reflected on the incident, Lisa realized she had been given an unexpected platform. Her personal experience had sparked a conversation that reached far beyond the cabin of that airplane. She decided to use her voice to advocate for change, not just for herself, but for everyone who had ever been mistreated or made to feel invisible. With the support of friends and colleagues, Lisa began crafting a public statement. She shared her story, not to dwell on the pain, but to highlight the need for mutual respect in all interactions. What happened to me, she said in a video statement, was not just about a single moment of disrespect. It's about a larger issue, a culture that too often allows people in vulnerable positions to be mistreated without consequence. We can, and we must, do better. Her words resonated widely, striking a chord with people from all walks of life. Lisa made it clear that she wasn't seeking revenge against the flight attendant, but accountability. This isn't about punishment, she explained in an interview. It's about ensuring that no one else experiences what I did. It's about creating systems where respect and dignity are non-negotiable. Lisa's story shone a spotlight on a pervasive issue: systemic disrespect in service industries. The incident became a catalyst for discussions about how stress and burnout in high-pressure roles, like those of flight attendants, often lead to inappropriate behavior. While many empathized with the challenges faced by frontline workers, they also emphasized the need for professionalism and accountability, even under difficult circumstances. Advocates began calling for better support systems for service workers. Lisa lent her voice to these efforts, emphasizing the importance of comprehensive training programs that not only teach technical skills but also focus on emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, and empathy. This isn't just about passengers, Lisa said in a panel discussion. It's about creating a culture of mutual respect. Workers in service industries deserve to be treated with dignity, but they also need the tools and support to navigate stressful situations without resorting to harmful behavior. Her advocacy extended beyond airlines. Lisa highlighted the broader implications of the incident, addressing the power dynamics that often leave customers and employees feeling powerless. We need to ask ourselves, how do we handle frustration? How do we treat people when tensions run high? These are questions we all need to consider, regardless of our roles. Lisa's efforts began to gain traction. Airlines announced new initiatives to address passenger and employee relations, including additional training and mental health support for staff. Advocacy groups used her story to push for broader reforms in service industries, including improved working conditions and accountability measures for misconduct. For Lisa, the journey wasn't just about sparking change in others. It was about rediscovering her own strength and purpose. What began as a moment of humiliation had transformed into a movement for respect, dignity, and systemic accountability. "I didn't choose this path," Lisa said during a speech to educators, "but I've realized that sometimes we don't get to choose the moments that define us. We only get to choose how we respond, and I choose to stand for something bigger than myself." Her words echoed far beyond the room, inspiring countless others to speak up, to demand better, and to approach one another with greater empathy and understanding. Lisa's story, while born out of pain, had become a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of turning personal trials into a call for collective progress. In the months that followed, Lisa continued to share her story, appearing at conferences, workplace training events, and even community gatherings. She remained steadfast in her mission, to ensure that respect and dignity were no longer optional but essential in every interaction. Through her advocacy, Lisa had turned a moment of profound disrespect into a movement for lasting change. Lisa Carter's story started as a simple request for comfort on a flight and escalated into a shocking moment of public disrespect that captured the world's attention. From the slap heard around the cabin to the calm yet resolute way she handled the aftermath, her journey has been one of resilience, strength, and purpose. This wasn't just a story about an airline incident. It became a powerful reminder of the importance of respect, accountability, and how our actions can ripple far beyond a single moment. Through her courage to stand up and speak out, Lisa turned a deeply personal violation into a movement for change. She showed us all that standing against disrespect, even when it feels overwhelming, can spark conversations and inspire actions that create lasting impact. This story challenges us to think about how we treat others, especially in stressful or high-pressure situations. It's a call to value dignity and kindness in every interaction, no matter our roles, whether as customers, employees, or leaders. Respect isn't optional. It's a foundation for building better workplaces, communities, and relationships. Let Lisa's experience inspire us to reflect on our own behavior and the systems we participate in. How can we do better in our daily lives? How can we ensure that respect and empathy are at the core of our actions? We'd love to hear your thoughts. What would you have done in Lisa's shoes? How can we work together to foster greater respect and accountability in our communities and workplaces? Share your opinions and experiences in the comments below. And if this story moved you or made you think, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell. By subscribing, you'll join us in exploring more real-life stories that inspire, challenge, and empower us all. Remember, small acts of respect can create big changes. Let's carry that message forward together.